Let's be real, being a digital nomad is not waking up to the sound of crashing waves, sipping your coffee in a new city every week, and doing a little bit of work. The reality is you now have an unlimited amount of hours in your day to work because your office is quite literally anywhere. In today's video, we're exploring 10 ways to stay motivated and avoid burnout as a digital nomad or as someone who's self-employed. And for those that are new here, hi, I'm Eden. I went from a burnt out teacher to now working for myself, and in that time, I've learned how to set boundaries and find a healthy work-life balance. First things first, let's talk about the importance of a morning routine. Creating a consistent start to your day can set a positive tone. From waking up at the same time to incorporating activities that are going to energize you, a morning routine can be a game changer for your productivity. I've created a morning routine, and it did take me a little while to work out what works best for me, especially because I'm in a new place each month. I like to keep my morning routine really simple, but with activities that are going to set me up for a productive day. My morning routine involves waking up early and working out first thing, because I'm one of those people that if I do not work out first thing in the morning, it's not gonna happen. And for someone who has a desk job, I just think moving my body is really important. I then have breakfast, shower, skincare, affirmations, and start my morning. I know online we see those morning routines that are really drawn out. They open their blinds, they light their candle, they then meditate, and they really romanticize their morning routine. And while I envy these people because it looks like such a nice way to start my morning, but I just know that that's not possible for me. I live in Airbnbs month to month, so do you think they even provide some candles? So when it comes to creating your own morning routine, keep it simple and make sure that you include activities that are going to energize you and set you up for a productive day. Next, we're going to set our priorities for the day, and we are only going to set 3. Now, I actually do this as part of my evening routine when I'm planning out my day. I do it the night before. But by identifying your 3 main tasks that you need to complete for the day, it prevents you from feeling overwhelmed. For me, I always make one of these goals my exercise because, as I said, I really want to prioritize this. And by doing it in the morning, guess what? I already get to tick off one of those 3 goals for the day. It also helps in setting up myself for a productive day because by the time I finish my morning routine, I've already completed one of my tasks. And now in my head, I only have 2 more things that I need to achieve. The other 2 tasks that I need to complete are focused around my monthly goals. They're usually business related or social media related because these are the things that I'm really focusing on this year. So as you're planning out your day and setting those priorities, this takes me into my next tip. Time blocking. I mean, sounds pretty self-explanatory. Organize your day into specific blocks of time dedicated to different activities. But by doing so, this helps you maintain structure and ensures that you allocate enough time to each task so you don't feel rushed. To plan out my day, I use a digital planner that I purchased from House of Planners, and I've put a link in the description below if you want to go check them out. But as a digital nomad, while physical planners are great, we want to keep things light. And digital planning is amazing, and I don't think I will ever go back to a physical planner. Now, when I time block my day, I'm setting up my day around those 3 top priority tasks. So like I said, the first one is always exercise related, and I do that in my morning routine, but I time block my morning routine as well. And then I'm going to block out hours for my next 2 priorities. Then I also have a section for my evening routine. Then I'm going to go through my to-do list and see if I can schedule in any of those other tasks. They are lower priority, so it's not a big deal if I don't get them done, so I can move them to the next day. Now, if you want a more in-depth tutorial video of how I plan, I do have one about how I plan my week, which you can go check out here. Tip number 4 is to create that workspace. When you have a job that you can literally work from anywhere, you need to be strict in setting those boundaries. I know it can be so tempting to some days work from bed, but I know from experience, it is not going to be my most productive day. I know those mornings that if I stay in bed, I'm going to procrastinate starting my work because it is so easy to just continuously scroll. That's why when we book our Airbnbs, this is actually something we take into consideration. We look at, is there somewhere where we can work from in the Airbnb, like at a dining room table, or can we work on the coffee table on the couch? Otherwise, as a last resort, is there a cafe nearby that has Wi-Fi that we can work from? By creating this workspace, it helps in putting you in the right mindset because you're creating a familiar environment that becomes your designated workspace. Tech is honestly your best friend. I mean, I became a digital nomad for a reason. But honestly, there is so many different productivity tools and apps out there to help you stay organized and manage your time efficiently. A lot of people do love Notion, and I feel like you guys are gonna come for me in the comments, but I tried it for a little bit and I just I don't love it. It felt very clunky to me, a lot to set up to begin with, and I felt like I could just do it all on my digital planner. Another tool that I love, which I use for all my content creation planning, is Trello. It has a really easy to use drag and drop functionality, a simple layout, and it's an app that I can use across all my devices. It has been a game changer over the last year in my content creation planning. Another favorite tool of mine, which is completely free if you have a phone, is a timer. You can find pretty and aesthetic ones online to really help you set the mood, but I just use the one that's on my phone. And this really helps with your time blocking. I find creating that sense that like I'm on the clock, it helps me really focus on the task on hand because I only have X amount of hours or minutes to work on something. It really prevents me from picking up my phone and getting distracted and scrolling for a bit, which brings me to my last little tech tool tip, is switching your phone to focus or work mode. You can customize this for yourself, but it's pretty much blocking any notifications. So I block all my social media notifications and pretty much only let messages and phone calls through. You can customize this for yourself for your work hours. So mine goes from 9 till 1, it comes back on for an hour, and then it goes back to work mode from after lunch till 5. It just prevents those social media notifications from popping up while I'm at work and allows me to not get distracted. Number 6 is stick to those regular work hours. Why? Because you work for yourself and those hours will never end. Work will always be there and that to-do list is always going to have tasks on it, but let me tell you, it can wait. The biggest learning curve for me over the last year is that the work is not going anywhere. There's not going to be a big difference if I do the work today or I do the work tomorrow. However, the difference is time. It's happened to me so many times just working for myself. It will be 9 p.m. and I would realize that I had spent the whole day just sitting on my laptop and working. This is a recipe for disaster, and I know that because I was a burnt out teacher. I would get to work at 7:30 in the morning and be the last teacher walking out their door. I would then come home and I would work on my side business. I never switched off. While I was teaching, to prevent myself from doing this, I was doing things like booking Pilates at 5 o'clock, which meant that I had to leave work at 4 to make it to my class. Unfortunately, while living abroad, I don't have that luxury anymore. So I've had to become really strict on my work hours. And that's where time blocking has really come in handy because I time block my day until 5 p.m. At 5, I would do things like go out for a walk with my partner or start cooking dinner. Or maybe we'd book a restaurant for dinner, so I would have to go and get ready. So as you're planning out your day, try and schedule something in after 5 that is not work related, that is a non-negotiable, to really help you switch off. Planning ahead is crucial when your office is anywhere. Now, we're not the most organized travelers at the best of times. If you watch my video about how I became a digital nomad, you would literally know that we book our flights and accommodation last minute. But we do at least know that we're going to be in a place for a month, so I have our checkout date on the planner. And it usually means that this day is going to be a travel day, and we hate those. I love being in new places, but I do not love traveling to new places. But knowing in advance days that I can work and that I can't work really help me organize my weeks. I am a VA as well, so I need to organize my hours that I can and can't work, so just knowing those days in advance is really helpful. We also love taking mini vacations during our month, so we might have a few weekdays off as well. And knowing those in advance is really helpful in preventing me feeling overwhelmed and my work building up. Now, I said earlier, I love using my timer, and that's because I set my timer for 1 hour or 20-minute segments. As I said, I do virtual assistant work as well, and on average, it's about 2 to 3 hours a day. So what I like to do is I set my timer for 1 hour, and then when my timer goes off, I do a 5 to 10 minute break. So I'll go and stretch my legs, get a drink of water, have a cup of coffee, make sure that I stretch my shoulders because we love that desk job posture. I then come back, set my timer for an hour, and off to work I go. For tasks that I really don't enjoy, that's where my 20-minute timer comes in handy, because 20 minutes of work is better than nothing. And by breaking it down into small manageable chunks, I just find that the task is so much more manageable, and actually once I start, it's a lot easier than what I've built it up in my head. That's why incorporating breaks into your work is so crucial. Continuous work can lead to mental fatigue, a decline in concentration, increased stress, and well, overworking, which we all know leads to burnout. These breaks are so important in allowing your mind to reset and actually increase your efficiency. As I said earlier, one of the first things that I prioritize in my day is exercise. I make it part of my morning routine so it energizes me for the day, but like I said, I'm one of those people, if I don't exercise in the morning, it is not happening. However, one of the biggest challenges as a digital nomad was moving places each month and trying to work out consistently. When I was living in Melbourne, I was a reformer Pilates girly. I loved Pilates so much. I was doing it every Tuesday, Thursday, and any weekend I could afford it. But Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I was going to gym. And to be honest, I hated gym. My gym workouts were TikTok videos that I found, and I didn't have any consistent routine that I was following because, let's be real, I had no idea what I was doing. Our first city that we went to as digital nomads was Toronto, and they had reformer Pilates there. And I was like, sweet, great, yes, we're going. But these were not normal classes, nor were they the normal beds that I was used to. And in Melbourne, bare feet to Pilates is pretty common. Maybe that's an Australian thing, but in Toronto you had to have socks, and I didn't know that, so they gave me a pair to borrow, and those things, they were crusty. Anyway, it was the weirdest class that I'd ever done, and it was expensive, so I was like, nope, Pilates isn't happening while we're traveling. We did end up getting a gym membership, so I was using the gym while we were in Canada. We then went to Calahonda in Spain, and our place didn't have a gym, and we didn't have a car, so we couldn't drive to a gym. So we started doing some online HIIT workouts outside. But your girl hates HIIT, especially when you have to do them outdoors. Like, I was getting prickles in my hand. Those did not last long at all. However, in Calahonda, we had this beautiful boardwalk that went for kilometers along the beach. So I started running. From Calahonda, each place that we booked, we tried to book somewhere that had a gym, or I would go running outdoors. But I was still at a loss when it came to gym workouts. That wasn't until I found what I'm currently using. I followed Steph Williams online for I don't know how many years now, but she was promoting her app WeGlow. They had some sale that was going on, and I thought, you know what? We're traveling, I want something that actually tells me what to do at the gym, and it was on sale. So I was like, why not? I'll give it a go. I've been using it for the last 3 months, and I don't think I'll use any other workout app. I absolutely love it because it has gym workouts, but also ones that you can do from home. And for someone who's traveling month to month and not really sure if they're going to have access to a gym or, you know, basically a home gym, some of the Airbnbs have them, it just allows me to set my workout guide for that month. It's all planned out for me. She even has little video tutorials on how to do the exercise to help me working out consistently. We also travel with bands, and in a few places I have bought just a cheap yoga mat and left it in the Airbnb when we moved on, because unfortunately traveling, you do need to travel light, but it's just helped me stay consistent in my workouts. Now my workout routine is using the WeGlow app 3 to 4 times a week, and then running every other day. Weekends we do a lot of exploring, so I just count my walking as exercise, and those are my rest days. I did find it took me a while to really get into the groove with consistently exercising while traveling, but for me it was something that I really wanted to prioritize. Exercise is so important for not only your physical health but your mental health too. I find when I'm looking after myself and in a routine, it puts me in a better headspace and allows me to be my most productive self. On that note, being our most productive self only works if we are regularly checking our routines. Being a digital nomad and in a constantly changing environment, you need to become flexible and adaptable to change. As you saw, when it came to my exercise routine, I was constantly having to change what my exercise looked like based on the place we were in. But I still made exercise a part of my routine. It just looked different. We've been in places that have had some really bad Wi-Fi, like Aruba. We could not work from our Airbnb. So instead of making our routine, we would usually work from home. We actually had a car for the month, so we made an effort to go to a cafe that had Wi-Fi, and that became a part of our routine. I think that is the one aspect of being a digital nomad that, while at times it has been challenging, it actually ends up being so rewarding. When I was a teacher, I just found that my life was getting a bit mundane, and every day kind of felt like the same on repeat. I mean, what I was doing in the classroom was a little bit different every day, but you know, your life kind of followed the same routine every single day. However, when I was able to live and experience a different place each month, I would get so excited when it comes to creating my new routines in this new environment. And while some things have been a little taxing for the month, in my head, I'm just thinking, I'm only here for a month, I only have to do it for 4 weeks. And it just made it so much more manageable. And when I found parts of my routines that were new and I really loved, like I definitely missed running along that boardwalk in Calahonda, it just made me appreciate it so much more. So my strongest piece of advice is find those routines that you enjoy and and that make you feel your most productive self. But be flexible because they may look different in each place that you live. I hope these tips help you stay motivated and create that work-life balance no matter where your office may be. And let me know in the comments which tip resonated with you the most.